Focus, the center of interest or activity. That's the word that I'm going off of today. I struggle really hard with focusing. I don't know if you guys can tell that. I have pretty severe ADHD, and it makes it so that doing things like this is not easy. That's kind of why I want to do this. I don't know if you've noticed within the last couple episodes, if you will, last couple times, I have not been very good at talking while I play. I didn't realize how like different MVM was from the rest of TF2 and like gaming in general. But holy crap, I am not good at multitasking. I'm so bad at it. And it's because I can't. I struggle with focus. You know. Oh, I'm about to die. I'm so toasted. Yeah, TF2 is such a hectic game. What? How did he die? Whatever. Um, and I think it kind of exasperates. It's one of the reasons why I like it so much. It's so chaotic. You have so much going on. Everybody has their own little world, right? Everybody's their own little main character in Team Fortress 2, and it's a lot of fun. But it makes it like impossible to focus or to be multitask because you have to constantly be on your feet, you know? And that's not inherently a bad thing, right? I'd say generally, as a rule of thumb, an ability to, you know, keep your eyes open. Oh, hey there. Keep your eyes open. Head on a swivel type thing is pretty good, but it is important to know how to focus properly, right? After all, those who can't focus properly need glasses. that wasn't a good joke, but they do, right? Whenever you can't properly focus on something, people try and fix that, right? They make it so that you take ADHD medicine, Adderall, you know, Maxor reference. You know, there are many different ways that we can combat an inability to focus, but something that I think that people don't talk about enough is a difficulty to focus in life. You know, where we have so much things that are holy crap. Oh, we have so many things that are asking for our attention every second of the day. What a dramatic death pose. Every second of the day, something is asking for our attention. You know, from phones, friends, family, everything, right? And it's really important to be able to know what you need to focus on and what you don't need to. This guy is using the Thompson for some reason. That's a decision. And it's important to know what you need to focus on, right? Life, what friends, what family, you know, because I don't really need to know everything about everything all the time. I just don't. Nobody does, right? And I think that's kind of like where uh, that's where social media comes in, where it's going off of this idea that we do. We just need. Oh, we just constantly need to be in the know. Whenever, you know, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's honestly they say ignorance is bliss, and it's not like it's bliss. It's just that like I don't need to know a bunch of useless information every second of my day. All it does is clutter up my vision and make it difficult to focus. It's something that I've recently been struggling more so with. You know, not. Wow, that's unfortunate. Um, More so with the like a life sort of deal, right? Is focusing on what you want to do, focusing on how you want to act, how you want to behave, what you want to do in your career, things like that, right? Which are important. They're very very important. Oh darn. They're very, very important, but they're so overwhelming. There's so much to focus on, you know, that it becomes too much. We get this kind of overload, right? And then you feel like you need to do everything, but you can't do anything. It's a lot, right? It is a lot. Um, and so a problem that I've been dealing with, especially throughout the summer, was this feeling that I need to be doing everything, right? I need to be focusing on this, that, the other thing. There's 1,000 things that are asking for my focus at every second of the day, and I don't have the time, right? I simply do not have the time for it. I don't think anybody does. We've been something interesting about knowing about everything all the time is you know so many more things that you want to do, right? Life used to be a lot more simple. Like let's be honest. Not even just like oh the good old days, but straight up, things used to be more simple objectively. Like you look at old houses, and it was like yes this is four this is four walls and a ceiling. You know, some of them didn't even have floors. It was just like, it was just dirt. That's real. And because it was so simple, the criteria of what they needed it to be was different, right? They didn't need AC or insulation or, you know, heating, electricity, plumbing. None of that stuff was necessary, right? It's all nice, but to make a house back then, you just needed the walls, right? And that's a lot simpler and easier to focus on than biting off, you know, okay, well, if I'm going to make a house, it has to have good material. It has to have insulation. It has to have I want a good kind of insulation, but not insulation that they're like overcharging me or anything like that. You know, it has to have plumbing. The plumbing has to be accessible. It has to have electricity. The electricity has to be accessible, but it can't be too overt. You know, you don't want your plumbing and electricity to be just like the only thing. Like, you want it to look nice. You want it to look classy, whatever. Right? And so that, you have to pay for that. You have to pay for its maintenance. You have to pay for its upkeep and everything along those lines. But, you know, it's not necessarily so black and white anymore. It's no longer a case of, you know, find a place to live and get the material for it, right? That is just not what it is. It would be nice if it were, but it isn't. Man, I suck at this. It'd be nice if it was, but that's just not the life we live, right? That's just not the world we live in. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. You know, you can't really blame us for having so much to focus on because that means that you know that there's a lot to love to life, right? An inability to focus is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily it's not necessarily an insult. You know, it's sometimes it's just an overappreciation or an overindulgence in the beauty of life, right? Whenever you go to a museum and you see all these pretty paintings and stuff like that, you can just be like awestruck, but like there's a point where you're just like, all right, you know. There's a point where you're like, all right, this is objectively beautiful. I just don't really care, you know. Some people get to that point a little bit earlier than others, but still, it's a point that basically everybody gets to, and it's not because it's any less. It's not because it's any less beautiful than it was before, or if somebody's less entertaining because they were when you first met them. It's because you're used to it, right? Your focus has shifted from meeting them to knowing them, right? And as of recent, I've had a lot on my plate, a lot of focus on, right? Where I have my job, I have friends, I have family, a lot going on, and now that summer's over, I'm hoping that it's gonna maybe mellow out a little bit. But that's not set in stone. And what I do need to really, really focus on is learning how to improve upon that. You know, how to continue working on no. Mm-mm. Okay. All right, he's going back. Ah. It's a lot. It's too much, honestly, you know. But it's all right. And you know, it's difficult. Certainly, there are times where I'd be like, it'd be nice if everything else could just stop and I could just have one thing, you know. But that's not really a luxury. You don't really get a restart chance. You know, you don't really get the ability to just be like, all right, we're gonna pump the brakes on everything real quick, right? And we're just gonna focus on you know, family. We're just gonna focus on friends. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. It's not really something that we have been allotted, right? At least not most people. Most people can't just quit their job because they just don't want to work anymore. It's not something that they got. That's not the opportunity that most people get. Uh-oh. I'm fine. Oh, I'm goated. I'm not fine. I'm amazing. What the frick? Fair enough. No, did the intelligence? Does the intelligence go back? Oh my gosh, I did not realize that. That's why he was laughing at me. He's laughing at me because I'm an idiot without focus. It's a lot. But I'm gonna try and focus more on YouTube again. Because I just enjoy YouTube, and I feel like it's been a part of me that's been being neglected. Not neglected, it's just I've shifted my focus to something else. Ow. Uh-oh. I'm no longer taking my goated pills. Oh, frick. Yep. I used all my skill in that one instance. I'm done for the rest of it. I don't know if you could tell that I struggle with focus. These videos, I think, are the best example where I just I'm doing something else, and then well, what the heck? When did this happen? What? Okay then. Alrighty. That was complete luck. All right. What was I talking about? Talking about how this game distracts, right? It's so easy to lose focus. Oh, frick off. Okay. Darn it. Hey, that wasn't that silly for me. I had like no health. Okay. All right, buddy. TF2 is a very distracting game, so I'm really glad that this is the one that I'm going with, because I think that this one's gonna be the most beneficial generally. Frick. I'm gonna die. Yep. Man, I'm so stupid. But that's all that I got for the moment. I hope you guys have been doing well. I'm probably just gonna finish out this game of TF2, and then that'll be game. But thank you guys so much for watching. What's it that he says? I'll talk to you guys. I'll talk to you nieces and nephews in the next one. Something like that.